Hello and welcome to today's Hangout, HILTI Button for Firestop. BIM Firestop easier than ever. This Hangout is brought to you by Applied Software's Construction Technology Group, the premier construction systems integrator in North America. My name is Elisa Bowman and I'm pleased to be your moderator today. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to interact with us by typing in questions and comments using the questions pane. We will be answering your questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be available to you online and on our YouTube channel. We will also send you an email following the webinar with a link to the recording. If you haven't already, please search Applied Software on Facebook and like our page. This way, you will receive the latest information and special offers. When you visit our website at asti.com, you'll find a complete schedule of upcoming events, webinars, trainings, and more. Please take a note of our upcoming HILTI webinars. We'll be hosting the HILTI Button for Firestop on Thursday, July 21st at 12:30. We'll also have another scheduled webinar on Thursday, August 25th, also at 12:30. Following the questions and answers at the end of this webinar, we will give away a $25 Amazon gift card. You must be present to win the gift card. Our presenter today is Robbie Sadawi. He is a Senior AEC Solutions Specialist with Applied Software. Robbie received both his bachelor's and master's in architecture and has more than 25 years' experience in the industry. He is often invited to speak at AU, RTC, and AIA, and Robbie is also a published author. His Autodesk certifications include Building Specialist and Technical Sales and a Revit implementation expert. He uses a consultative methodology and also has a structural specialization. Please welcome Robbie.
Thank you, Elisa. Okay, so today's webinar is about the HILTI button for Firestop. And those of you who are not familiar with the HILTI Corporation, it's based in a tiny little country in the just south of Germany and between Switzerland and Austria. And they've been manufacturing Firestop solutions for the AEC industry since the mid-40s. And you probably know HILTI because of their manufacturing of the hardware and the drill holes for piping and ducting. So this is a new thing for HILTI. And today we're going to be talking about the HILTI button for Firestop. So AEC professionals can populate building information models with appropriate Firestop components easier than ever, and with the HILTI Firestop button, and this is done through an automated clash detection and product selection process. The HILTI button for Firestop is an add-in for several Autodesk applications such as Revit, AutoCAD MEP, Fabrication, CADmep, and Navisworks Manage. Also, the HILTI button for Firestop automates the entire Firestop BIM process by identifying and qualifying penetrations, as well as recommending UL-listed Firestop systems, saving you time and giving you the documentation required by fire safety building officials. So I'm going to start now with a short PowerPoint, and then I'll switch to a live demonstration. Our agenda covers a 5-step process, which is identical to the process that you go through in using the application. Step 1 addresses identifying and qualifying penetrations in a building. Step 2 is exporting to Navisworks. Step 3 is the process of clash detection. Step 4, defining UL systems and products. And step 5, populating the 3D model whether in Revit or AutoCAD MEP with Firestop BIM components. At the end of the presentation, we will take your questions. So in a nutshell, the HILTI button for Firestop is a full integration solution that has 4 different applications. It will run inside of Autodesk AutoCAD Fabrication and AutoCAD MEP, Revit, and Navisworks Manage. So let's take a look at the full integration with Revit as an add-in. On the Revit menu, when you install the application, it will show up with these 5 buttons and allows you to qualify your floor slabs elements for fire penetrations. You can qualify your wall elements, your MEP elements, and there's another couple of other buttons that allows you to open the Firestop Manager and auto-populate the Firestop products into the Revit model. If you are using the AutoCAD platform, whether it's Fabrication MEP or AutoCAD MEP, it's similar interface. You also go through the process of qualifying the MEP elements or components, qualifying the Fab components, and starting the Firestop Manager and inserting the Firestop components back into the model. So this process is a round trip from the BIM authoring tool to Navisworks Manage and back. The workflow that is involved in identifying and qualifying penetrations has to do with selecting one or more walls, floor slabs, and MEP components to change their fire rating, the barrier type, the penetrating type, and material and installation. It's a very simple process, and with not much instruction or training, anyone really can do this. When it comes to the full integration with Navisworks Manage, the HILTI button for Firestop also is a simple process of simply calculating the Firestop clashes, starting the Firestop Manager, and toggling the Firestop status on or off. After the clash detection is run, Navisworks Manage will give you a list of all the clashes and their status, and will highlight the penetration, whether it's duct to wall or pipe to floor, for example. These penetrations have different statuses. So you have the red, of course, is how we start, which indicates that this needs further study. It's under clarification, and there's not a solution that's been applied to that penetration at the moment. When you use the application to assign a UL system to that penetration, then that penetration turns into green. And when there is a question that is involved that requires engineering judgment, or EJ, then it turns yellow. Transferring the clashes to the Firestop Manager is one button away, essentially, and it's an automated process. The Firestop Manager evaluates all the penetrations based on their materials and clashes, and then assigns them a UL-listed solution. So looking at this Firestop Manager, it's easy to read. On the left-hand side, we have all the clashes that are listed in their hierarchy in the building. The bottom of the screen has the main functionalities, and in the middle lists all the clashes with a assigned UL system solution. On the right-hand side, if we select a specific row, it will show you the specific solution, and the user have the ability to change a UL system and product based on their own experience. But it doesn't matter which product they choose. In this case, only the products that are certified will be available to the end user. So what happens when when we look at the bottom of the Firestop Manager, we're able to assign or unassign Firestop products. And then number 3 is changing the penetration. This will allow you to match other products that are being listed to that particular penetration. Number 4 is the BOM is generating the bill of materials, and that will be saved in Excel file format. And number 5, last but not least, is generating a full document for the project, which you can turn over to the fire marshal for documentation, so you can get the certificate of occupancy. So the last step in the process, which is step number 5, is going back to the BIM authoring tool. In this case, it's Revit, or it also could be AutoCAD MEP or FabMep, and populating the BIM model with the HILTI Firestop products, and those are created as true Revit families or AutoCAD families as well, or components. Let's take a look at how this happens as a live demonstration. So I'm going to switch now to Revit, and I'm going to open a model here. Here we have the main model, which is an architectural model, and to this model we have linked in a structural file as well as an MEP file. The model is made up of a lot of different components. What I'm going to do is simply select the entire model and isolate specific components such as walls. So I've done that before this webinar, so I'm going to switch to that view that has these walls in it. And let's zoom in on these walls here for a second. And then I'll switch over to the application, which is the HILTI tab over here. And just we mentioned earlier, in this case we have walls, so we'd have to use the qualify walls, and that will look for the existing Firestop assigned to each component based on the Revit type properties. And so we can, for example, come over here and simply select the item by name, look for similar components, such as, in this case, we have the concrete wall, 12-inch, and then go over here on the right-hand side and change the fire rating of these walls to 2 hour, and then over here under the barrier type, assign them a concrete masonry wall type. When we're done going through every wall type on this list, then we can simply click OK to save those wall settings, and that will finish the qualifying the walls for Revit. The next step is to go to the add-ins and export this model, this partial model, into Navisworks Manage. So we can look at the settings here quickly to make sure that we have the proper settings. For example, it's best practice to make sure that you convert element ID, convert all elements, element properties, coordinates should be project internal unless it's shared, and then we're exporting the current view only, not the entire project, and we do not want to export room geometry, so we disable all the other stuff that are not currently needed. And then okay, so then we'll proceed with exporting this NWC file into Navisworks Manage. I'm simply going to overwrite this file. We have 3 Revit models that we're about to do here. So this is the Revit architecture model. I will go ahead and close it, and I will open the which is the MEP model. In the MEP model, we can look at the entire model, for example, which is this one right here. This contains all the ductwork, pipework, duct fittings, accessories, equipment, what have you. Or we can isolate, for example, all the mechanical systems in here, all the domestic plumbing systems, all the exhaust air ducts systems, etc. But if we want to focus on a specific type of components, it would be these. So basically, let me show you what these are. These components are under the selection filter in Revit are ducts and pipes. So I specifically want to look for ducts and pipes penetrations through floors and walls. We will use the HILTI button for Firestop to qualify MEP elements in this case. Again, it's similar to the process that we went through before, and it's very simple. I'm going to sort by name, and I can select, scroll down and select all the components that are similar to each other, and then go over here, set the penetration type to bare metallic pipes, conduits, or tubing, and under the penetration item material, we're going to assign them for example, copper pipes. And then, similar process is repeated for every type of PVC pipes, conduits, etc. We will go ahead and save our qualified components. And proceed to export this to Navisworks Manage. Again, it's a similar settings to the architectural model. We'll go ahead and override the previous file that I had. And I will now switch to the structural model. I'll close down the MEP model and open the structural model. Okay, and the structural model, of course, is made up of columns and framing and slabs. So we are interested mainly in the slab penetrations. So again, it's the same process of selecting all of the structural model and then going to the selection filter and choosing only floors. And the end result would be you'll see only the floors for the floor penetrations. Next, we'll go to the HILTI application tab and qualify slabs. Again, we don't have a lot of slabs here, so you want to pick similar slabs and then assign them a fire rating, and then go over here and then choose what type of floor it is. And this is just to, because a lot of users may not name the families the proper way, so you want to make sure that you have the proper fire rating that will be used by the Firestop manager. We will continue to do that for every component here, and then save our changes, and then we will export the model to Navisworks. So now we have 3 NWC files ready to be imported into the Navisworks Manage. So I'm switching now to Navisworks Manage application. I will use the append command to append NWC files only. So I'll select all 3 files and then open them at the same time. And here they are. If you look very carefully, you see that there is the ducts are sticking out of the walls here. And if you want to just okay, so we'll go ahead and proceed to. Let me load in a workspace that I've saved in advance, and that is going to be the workspace for the HILTI Firestop Manager, and this one. And that's going to open the Clash Detective dialog box for Navisworks, and we'll add also the comments. We will use this later in a moment. Okay, so let's move this over to here. Okay, so let's start the HILTI button Firestop application and start calculating our clashes. Now, as soon as I click on this button, it's going to ask me to save the file. Yep. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to overwrite the previous file I had before. And this will be an NWF file. All right. We will proceed to calculate the Firestop clashes. Again, if you have any questions, please send them to Elisa. She's collecting all the questions for you. I will. Okay, so Navisworks found 45 clashes, and let's go to the results. And I'm just going to go through a couple of those. You can see that Navisworks has labeled these clashes with these red objects, if you will, where the penetrations are. We will proceed to start the Firestop Manager. Oh, it wants me to save, so I'm going to save again, and then start the Firestop Manager. And it's as you can see, it's a fast process. We're doing this live, so that didn't take very long for 45 clashes. I would recommend that you isolate the components so you don't, if you have a very large building and you have thousands of clashes, you may want to manage the number of clashes by subdividing them into different components. So you would run all the piping together, the ductwork together, and you don't want to mix them together. But in this case, we only have 45, so this should be fine. Right now, we don't have any UL system solutions assigned to the clashes. I'm going to sort my clashes based on the name. So it starts with clash number 1 and goes down to clash number 45. And I'll simply just go ahead and assign those UL systems that are recommended for these types of clashes. So this process is complete. So we'll go to clash number 1. Select that, and it says here, this is the HILTI Firestop sealant. And you can see here actually a little preview of what the sealant tube looks like. And the next few clashes, from clash number 2 to clash number 18, there was no solution found. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go to clash number 19. In this case, it's a floor penetration, and it has created for us a UL system solution that's based on a cast-in device, and that's what it looks like right here. So this will have to be placed in the slab before the concrete is poured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the clash number 2 that HILTI button for Firestop did not find a solution for, and then go over here and then change the no product found to EJ, which means we are asking HILTI to provide a solution based on the engineering judgment. And we'll do that. I'm going to do that for a couple of those, and I'll show you where that shows up later. Okay, so we have 3 of those that clash 2 through 4 have EJ on them. Let's take the example of clash number 19. Clash number 19 now is a product button over here, and there's also a system button. So let's go to the product button. The product button is going to open the web browser and show me the products on the HILTI website. And I can just browse through them and look at the specifications or some other information. I can also look at the system, and that will download a cut sheet for that particular solution based on UL rating to our UL rating. Okay, so obviously we need to, at any time in the process, we can assign or unassign these products, and we can also select a product and make it match the product next to it. We can also generate quantities. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to generate quantities, and here it lists all the sealant solutions, the cast in place devices, engineering judgment solutions, and no product found. I'll go ahead and save this, and that will be basically an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll just overwrite the previous one. And the last thing here in the process is in Navisworks is to generate a submittal, which would be a very useful document in providing that to the building officials. In a few moments, the HILTI button for Firestop is going to open a PDF document. Here it is. This PDF document contains information about the project. So the first thing, I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to say this is the Firestop submittal. And we'll give this a fictitious project. Let's call this the Grand Hospital. Any street, USA, and so on and so forth. We'll give it a zip code, any city, Georgia 30329, and we'll give it a date. This will be June 24th, 2016, and submitted by Applied Software. All right, we'll go ahead and save this PDF document and overwrite the previous version. And let's take a look at what's in this document. So there's 24 pages here. I'll just browse down this table of contents. There is some cut sheets for the solutions. There will be one for the sealant, one for the cast in place device, and other solutions as well. Here's more information from the HILTI website. It's all certified. There's also a certificate of compliance from the HILTI headquarters in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There is basically a form that you can also check out. Is some letter to whom it may concern from the HILTI safety manager, and another one from the product manager that certifies the products. You can see here clearly that which ones have been specified. It lists all the clashes and Firestop solutions, and a certificate of compliance from HILTI as well. So a very useful document you can turn over to the fire marshal. Okay, so that is the submittal. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to close down the HILTI Firestop Manager, and let's go back to the clashes. So you see the colors of the clashes are changing now. The ones that we have provided solutions for are now green in color. If I zoom in on this, you see that the actual HILTI penetration here is turned green. Just happens to be also green with the duct. And right here too. Let me zoom in. So again, this used to be red, now it's green. And there will be some additional ones that have been reviewed, but no solution was found. But let's go back to this one. This one, if you can look here, it says EJ. This is the it's the same solution that we have selected. We needed more information on the engineering judgment is listed here. Clash number 1 shows the sealant in the comments. And let's go down and look for clash number 19. Clash number 19 is the cast-in device for this particular one. So let me zoom in here, use the zoom window. And so the solution that has been found for these cast-in-place devices, the green, have that in there, and the status is approved. So of course I can assign these to one of my team members, and I can also go ahead and generate a report. The report should have summary, clash points, date found, status, item ID, that kind of stuff. I will choose to go with an HTML tabular report and go ahead and write the report. Now, I have generated a report in advance, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. The report will look something like this. It's an HTML report that gives you a thumbnail for each of the clashes, as well as the element ID and what is the clashing, the gypsum wall versus a rectangular duct. Also under comments, what's really convenient is that under comments over here, HILTI populates the comments with a solution for Firestop. So this would be a very good thing to provide to your team as well. I typically like to change my HTML file format to MHT. So I would save that as an MHT file format and get that. Combine the thumbnails in this folder with the HTML file into one file. It looks exactly just the same as this one. Here it is. It's this one right here. Okay, so let's revert back to Revit and find out what we're going to need in Revit. So I'm going to open the Revit, and I'm going to go to the HILTI application and insert back the Firestop solution back into the Revit model. So this is the complete round trip. It says here there's 45 of them. Not all of them are applicable to the slabs. Some of them go on the walls, some of them go on the slabs. And the penetrations have been placed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this view into a wireframe, and also it's possible that the components that came in as let me see here, came in as specialty equipment. So this may not be visible in this view. So let me turn on this. Okay, let's go to a different view and turn on the wireframe view here. Okay, here we go. So this is what I was looking for. So so in the structural model wireframe view, we'll be able to see those cast-in devices and the floors, and these are the Revit families that came from the Navisworks managed clash detection. Here we have the exact name of the device, CP680M cast-in device for metallic penetrations. Last, what I will do is we'll go ahead and generate a schedule to quantify those components. So simply I'll just go to this schedule command, and I may just create a multi-category schedule. And in that schedule, I probably want to have the the family, the Firestop solution, and also some other fields in here. So instead of taking the time to do this, I'll just show you a schedule that I created earlier. Here we have the multi-category schedule that's this is actually itemized. And let's go here and change the filtering of this, make it non-itemized. It's going to show you here, all kinds of things. It will show you the white flange, beams, columns, etc., and the Firestop solutions all mixed together. So we would have to filter this by a certain parameter, and when we do, we would see the HILTI only solution. So we have here the cast-in device for metallic penetrations. There are 6 of them. There is the sealant and another sealant solution as well as 21 total Revit families that were brought in from Navisworks Manage. I'm getting close to turning this over to Elissa. I want to show you also what if you don't group them together, when you change the schedule properties, you can get itemized list of every device you have. You can also go to the those of you who are Revit users know exactly what I'm doing. You can simply sort by type and add a blank line in between and a footer. So you can get a subtotal for every device. So with that, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and turn it over to Elissa for any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robbie. That was a great presentation. I have a question for you. Could you explain why someone has to qualify the fire rating of walls and floors again if they are already labeled as fire rated in the Revit type properties?
That's an excellent question. Yeah, so you know how Revit users tend to put different abbreviations for fire rating. So somebody may say, this wall or this floor is 1 hour. Other person may label it as 1-HR. So the different spelling combinations for fire rating in Revit can confuse the application. The application needs a very specific nomenclature and syntax for it to detect those penetrations. So the qualification process takes care of that.
Great, thank you so much. Can the HILTI Revit families be quantified in both Revit and Navisworks?
Yes, I think I showed that when we were in the Navisworks Manage application. We used the BIM button to export the Firestop solutions to Microsoft Excel, and I can actually show you that. Let me see if I can switch to that. It will require some acrobatic changes here. Here we go. So let me open that Excel spreadsheet. Here it is. So when we save those BOM quantities, it's exported that to this Excel spreadsheet, and you can see that that it has each solution here with the number of things here. Also in the Revit schedule that we saw a moment ago, back to Revit, here are the quantities for the Revit families. So it's your choice whether to use the quantities from Navisworks or the quantities from Revit.
Okay, thank you. What version of Revit will the HILTI button work with?
Excellent question. I'm currently using the Revit and Navisworks 2017, but it is compatible backward to 2016 and 2015.
Okay, and let's see. We have one more question here. Will the HILTI program work in Navisworks Freedom?
No, because it requires clash detection, and clash detection is only available through Navisworks Manage.
Okay. Well, those are all the questions we have now. So now is the time you've been waiting for. We are moving on to the giveaway. Dawn Menke is our winner today, and congratulations, Dawn. We want to thank you all for hanging out with us today. We hope you found the Hangout informative and help to your business. Look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. Thanks again.